guys, this is Jeanette from Our Backroom Creations, and today we're going to do 2 short patriotic crafts that you can do to decorate your home. I'm going to bring you on down so you can see what we're doing. So I have 4 pieces of board here. This is going to be our top right here. This one I have drilled 3 holes at the top, or at the bottom, I'm sorry. 2 holes at the top and 3 holes at the bottom. They will connect to our 3 smaller boards down here. We're going to make a flag-ish craft. So let's do our red ones, red and white first. So we'll have 2 red and 1 white. I'm going to use Waverly Crimson. Hope everybody's having a good day. Now this is a little bright red for me, but we will be putting on some dark wax in the end, and that'll help tone that down. These were raw wood, and I had already primed them with white chalk paint for another craft that I did not end up doing. And so they were already white, but they were raw wood. I'll give you a measurement on these here in just a minute. Make sure to paint your edges. It's a little hard to get all them edges as you're painting. You can use some painting tips. I can get these for you. Oh. So these are little round things that have like a little nub. Some people use just scraps of wood that have nails in them. That might hold. Right now all I have is my fingerprints on this one. We're supposed to use 4, but the boards aren't that big. So let's get our fingerprints done, and then we'll let those dry. I'm just gonna put probably, I don't know if I'll put 2 coats on it or not. We could do the sides first, and that'll help with the fingerprints, maybe. If you like the crafts that I do, go ahead and subscribe and ring that bell so you'll be notified when I go live or upload a tutorial. I do both. I do mostly lives, but have been branching out into some tutorials. And today, this is going to be a collaboration. You'll have other creators to watch as well and see what their patriotic gifts are. Gifts, ideas. At the end there. And I also like to paint things white and then distress them a little bit. And you'll see that undertone. I'm just going to put a light coat of white on this 3rd board. Try to get all the red paint off of my hands. This one is Folk Art Home chalk paint. It's white Adirondack. I'll buy the white and the black in the really big jars, because we're always going through it. So this one just needs a light coat on top. Like I said, I've already done that as well. Okay. Now we're going to paint this one blue. I have a little cookie sheet here that a lot of times I will paint on so I can remove it from my area. Just a little Dollar Tree cookie sheets. So we're going to paint this blue even though I'm getting red all over it. Get a bigger paintbrush back here. Okay, so this one, this is not the paint that's inside this jar. It's Rust-Oleum. I had it tinted to a favorite blue of mine down at Lowe's. So here's the blue. It's more of a country blue. Like I said, doesn't really match. The blue and the red don't really match, but we're going to put some dark wax. I like the Howard's chalk teak. It's specifically designed for chalk paint. We won't worry about the back sides. I did paint them mostly white. But you can put as many coats on there as you like. How I decided where my holes went is I just divided the 3 boards out underneath this board and then made a marking where I wanted to put my holes. And we will attach those in the end with wire. Okay, so now that we have all this painted, I will get everything dried, and if I need a second coat, I will do that, and we will be right back. Okay, and we're back. Now that we've got our country blue, we've got 2 reds, and a white. So now we're going to lay them in the direction that we're going to put them. Oop, this one over here. And then we're going to use a little bit of Howard's dark chalk teak paste. It's a dark paste. You can just rub it all over. You can kind of do distressing a little bit like I'm doing, because if you do it to white, it will all turn dark. I don't mind some of it, but I don't want quite all of it. So that brings all that down, especially on the red. We'll leave that on for just a moment and then we will polish it off. Now we'll do the blue. I like to start wax with this blue. Turns out really pretty, especially when there's some ornate grooves and stuff on them. The Howard's doesn't have a medium tint. It's either light or dark. That's it. I wish they had some other hues, but it is what it is. All right, so now you can use a cloth or you can use a paper towel. We buy these white rags from the hardware store. That way it doesn't leave any fuzzies. Sometimes paper towels will leave fuzzies. Now, if waxing, or after you wax it and you take off, if that's not good enough for you, you can come back and put a little more on, or maybe if you want to use a glaze or anything else that you use to distress. This will, it does put a little sheen on the chalk paint, gives it like a sealing. It does take 2 or 3 days, depending on your humidity and weather, to completely harden. See how that blue looks? I love it. So it did take off a little too much. You could use a smaller brush, of course, that would help. So I'm just going to kind of go around the edges there. Now that'll be a little wet until it's completely dried, but we're going to go ahead and finish our project. So I'm going to use 2 different weights of gauges of wire. This is a heavy duty electrical wire, like for electric fences, and this is just from the hardware store. I don't know the exact gauge of them because I already took off the wrapping. But this one is actual heavy duty. I use it for hangers, and this is more of like connecting things together. So we'll use our side snips, diagonal cutters, whatever you want to call them. And then I always have a small pair of needle nose pliers, because what we'll do is we'll poke it through the front, and then we will put a little curly Q on it. And that will keep it from going through the board. And that's how we will connect them all. I didn't paint the back sides because this is just going to hang in my room. I could get a hold of it. You don't have to like curl it up a whole lot, just one curl will do. I get paint everywhere. I'm a messy painter. I kind of fold it flat on the board so it will lay better. And that's all you need for that. And then we're going to take these 3 and connect them to our blue. I used an 1/8 inch drill bit. So first I'm going to get them all connected. And then we'll see how much wire we need to take off. I think you could probably use some of the, if you don't have access to wood, some of the wood that you can buy at the Dollar Tree. So, other than this one, but if you found small ones, you could glue 2 together to make a larger one. So I kind of want them the same length apart, and then I will clip my wires to the same, about the same length. And then we'll do exactly what we did on the small boards, is we'll just give them a little curly Q. Sometimes it's a little easier if you leave your wire longer and then cut it, but it's totally up to you how you do that. I think I got some glue on there. I wouldn't know where any glue would come from. There we go. So there we got our hanging part. Okay. So up here I have some I don't need a bell. Some rusty stars. Ooh, dirty hands. That we'll use some E6000 glue and a little bit of hot glue. I'm not going to put them in any pattern or anything. I'm just going to put them on there. These are concave, so you want to make sure that you get enough on there that it'll adhere to the board. You can I wish I had smaller ones. I would have put them in a circle, you know, for like one of our original flags that we had. The 13 colonies. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on here to help it hold. if you put too much E6000, it will ooze out. So be careful about that. And I'm just going to randomly put them. I did get these on Amazon. My Amazon store will be linked in the description. If you have any questions about what we're doing here today, you can always leave me a comment and I will get back to you. So I'm not really measuring or anything where I'm putting them, just kind of giving some randomness to it. Maybe 2 more. So the ideal way is to let this dry before you go picking it up and moving it, but for modern TV today, so here's what we have so far. Now we're going to make a hanger for up here. Now I did color some beads. I had thought about putting a bead between these and then I changed my mind. So we're going to use this heavy duty wire that I showed you, the electric fence wire. That's way too long. I don't need all that. So, yep, so I'm just, these holes that I drilled earlier. We'll do the same thing as far as putting a little curly Q on here. This is a lot heavier duty wire, so it might take you a couple little tries. You could use a jute, rope, or whatever you want for your hanger. Can't talk today, so I'll just get me a paintbrush. Normally I have a dowel rod over here, but I like to put little curls in my hangers, especially when I'm putting beads on them. Here's my red one, because it'll hold them on one end of the hanger. And then I'll put a curly afterwards. And then those 2 curls will hold your beads. And there you go. So here is our rustic flag. You can hang it up anywhere you choose. If you're gonna do it on a door or window, I would paint the back. So there you go. Here's our American flag Patriotic wood decor. Thank you. Hi, and we're back with another small Patriotic home decor. This is one of the wood canvases, 5x7, and I'll turn you down so you can see what we're going to do with it. Alright, so this is just a 5x7. I gave it a little bit of whitewash. I didn't really need to paint inside the middle, but it's okay that you do. Paint it whatever color you want. Now, I did see this on YouTube, and I left my paper downstairs of who I watched do this. So I did want to give her credit where credit is due. So we're just going to make a little flag out of straws and a frame. That's it. So kind of gauge where you think your straws for the star box will be. And then we'll glue them in there. So first I'm gonna use this as a little pattern. And straw pieces went a-flying. Not sure how many I need. So you can get two pieces out of one straw. I have a whole little tote of nothing but straws, so I'm not quite sure where these came from, but it was probably Hobby Lobby, Walmart. I don't think they came from the Dollar Tree. I know I got a lot of mine at Hobby Lobby and Walmart. So we can start gluing them on there and then see where we're at. So I'm just going to put the glue on the board. Probably be a little bit easier. Bump it up, push it all the way over to the end. Now that one ended up a little bit longer. How dare they? There we go. Let's see. Okay. Maybe that one was just a little long. So we'll just glue these until we get the size of rectangle that we want. Of course, we had another one that's longer. Here, let's just put these on here and we'll see how many we need to get rid of. Probably could just mark them. Based on where they need to go. There we go. This would be a good craft to do with grandchildren or small kids. Of course, you might want to use just regular glue for them. I think we're going to do 2 more. Might as well use the whole straw, right? So go ahead and glue these and see where we're at. This will be our last one. Now the metallic ones I have in red and white stripe, but I didn't have enough to do everything. Just trying to see if I can get these a little bit. No, that's not gonna work. Okay. It's not been a very good day today. Everything seems to go wrong. But so what we're going to do is I have metallic and I have plain. We're going to alternate them. Let's see if I can get these closer. And maybe I was in a hurry, you think? Gonna have plenty of these to pick up, that's for sure, because they're going to flying. I do like Americana Patriot decorations. I have an Americana living room, so I have red, white, and blue all year long. Just trying to see how many more I need here, because the other ones will be a lot smaller. I should probably be able to get 2 out of 1 straw up there as well. I know those aren't every other. We'll get that when we glue them down. Okay. That one's kind of wedged in there, but we'll get her. Then we'll do a plain. Oops. Of course, using the mini glue guns, you need more glue sticks. I like the detail glue guns, so I don't use my full-size one as much anymore. Oop, I must have grabbed another one. Let's see if we can get one more in there. There we go. So now we got to cut our small ones for up here. I'm going to do these as I go because my blue ended up a little bit, I say wonky. So we'll kind of do those individually. We're still going to alternate up here. So you could do it with just regular school glue. They just would want to leave it sit for a while. And you wouldn't even have to have a wooden frame. You could do it on anything. Those are fitting in there nicely. Guess I can't get my lengths right. I want it to be snug, but not too snug. There we go. And you could, I'm not paying attention to where I'm putting the stripes, but you could if you want. I kind of like it since I'm not using all metallic. That I'm using, you know, the non-metallic. I think it looks better not all lined up. All kinds of things that you could do with your kids or grandkids with straws, and they're relatively cheap, even the pretty ones. I know the plain non-metallic ones you can get at Walmart for like $1, unless they've gone up. I did buy these quite a while ago. You know, when you start a new craft, you kind of stock yourself up. This ended up just right, because that was the last metallic one I had. And then we'll need, whoops, one more, and that is how fast this can come together. You could put a little hanging on her like we did earlier, or just, I'm just going to leave mine as a shelf sitter. And I hope you liked both of my ideas. Again, if you aren't subscribed to me, ring that bell and subscribe, and you'll know when I go live or upload a tutorial. And thanks for coming and hanging out. I'm Jeanette with Our Backroom Creations, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.